Thank you for joining us today at Miniature Wargaming Labs. Today we will be painting the Swampcalla Shaman for the Orc faction of the Dominion box set. Now, to paint this guy, we primed him standard Mechanicus gray, and we used mostly Army Painter paints. So we used jungle green, scaly hide, leather brown, oak brown, gunmetal, shining silver, necromancer cloak, ash gray, dragon red, alien purple, weapon bronze, greedy gold, desert yellow, matte black, and matte white. We then used some Vallejo German camouflage beige, World War II, and we used two Citadel paint pots, Ionrach skin and Zhandri dust, and then we used Citadel's Nuln Oil as a wash. So, beautiful model, well sculpted, as we often say of Games Workshop's models. We won't talk about the price, but let's go ahead and get started on this guy. Now I've primed my Swampcalla Shaman standard Mechanicus gray. Army Painter gray would also be good. Maybe a brown, save some time. But what we're going to do is start with some Army Painter jungle green. We're going to paint his skin. Just one thick coat. Now that the skin's dry, we're going to take some Army Painter leather brown and we're going to paint all these wet hides he's wearing. Still don't have to be careful at this point, except with the green. Makes a nice dark wet brown, especially when we do the washing later. I'm going to take some Stirland Mud and I'm going to texture up this base. The reason being, I'm about to go to bed and this stuff takes a while. So since I know I won't come back to it, well, do the thing that's going to take the longest to dry. I just take my tool and rub this around in tight little circles. Try not to touch the green or any of the other colors because this stuff will stain. Alright, now I'm going to take some ash gray from Army Painter. I'm going to do stonework here. Now I'm going to take some Necromancer Cloak and I'm going to paint the Stirland Mud and the parts of the plastic model that are supposed to be dirt. This will start to unify the look of the model together. Now I'm going to take some Zhandri dust and I'm going to paint the reeds that color. Make sure you get it all around this. Now, once I get the grassy part painted, I'm going to go back to my army brown. I'm going to do that part brown. I'm going to use some Army Painter Oak Brown. For this, I'm going to do the staff. I'm going to make it look like a darker wood. Now I'm going to take some Army Painter's Dragon Red. And there's 3 areas we're going to do. We're going to do this little breast cover right here, more of a stomach cover. This will fit in the theme of the rest of the army. We're going to do the little contents of these bowl part way down. And then we're going to do these little spheres, not touching the brown straps that hold them up. And there's one there, there, and there. So I'll turn those red. Now we're going to take some Ionrach skin. I've already gotten started here, but we've got a little skull he wears around the belt area. We got one hanging from the staff. And then he's got the giant skull on his back. Now I'm going to take some Army Painter Alien Purple. And we're going to do this. It looks like blood that turns into a smoke. So we're going to try to just a light touch around the red. Just little streaks there, kind of get it to blend together. Now I'm going to use some Army Painter Weapon Bronze for... There's 2 areas we're going to use it on. These little decorations coming down by the shoulder. And for the hand. Now we're going to take some Army Painter Gunmetal, and we're going to hit what should be some of the last unpainted parts of this model. So we've got a variety of chains here. We're going to do this little decoration here. And then we've got all these little spikes, bolts, and various chains hanging off these metal bits here. So just look around, make sure you get both sides of them. Now I'm going to take some Nuln Oil from Citadel, favorite wash, and take a brush that I've already messed up. I'm just going to slop it all over sky and base. I'll use some Army Painter Ash Gray. Okay, and this is a brush. Used to be a nice pointy sharp brush until I cut it down to make it into a tiny little dry brush. And for that, just this. I'm going to rub it along there, and then I'm going to go 50% perpendicular to that. Remember, you don't want too much paint on this. And just the tops of the grit there. So I wanted a small brush to do this, so I can fit between. So get some stonework here. Careful not to hit some of the other items. And we'll just go around and dry brush this to taste. Now I'm going to use some German camouflage beige World War II from Vallejo. And I'm going to take a dry brush and just try to hit the brown. Just a light touch. Now we're going to take some desert yellow, and we're going to use that for all this little stitching work. So you see there's these little stitches that bind the pieces of hide together. So we're going to just do a little highlight with the Army Painter Desert Yellow. Just a quick flick. And they're all over his little body. So he's missing one right there, missed a stitch. Now what we're going to do